Hello, my name is Andrew Sandoval. I'm the owner of Indoor Cycle Pros. You can find us on the web at indoorcyclepros.com. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to remove the left crank arm from a Stages indoor cycle. Okay, let's begin. First thing I like to do is I'll just go ahead and remove the seat assembly post. Gives me a nice clean open space to work on the crank arm. The next thing I'll do is I'll rotate the crank arm till about maybe 10:30. And I will turn the resistance all the way. The goal here is to lock the crank arm so it will not move. In this case, the pedal is already attached to the crank arm, so I'm going to flip it to the SPD side and hold it like this when I go to loosen it. In the case of the pedal not being on the crank arm, I'd recommend using like a shop towel or something to hold the crank arm with. What you'll need is an 8mm socket. In this case, it's an 8mm 3/8 socket along with a 3/8 inch ratchet drive. I'll also recommend picking up a tube of Park Tool grease. This is the HPG1. It's high temp, waterproof grease, and it's super handy when you're working on your Stages bikes. Okay, so I've locked the resistance. Pedal crank is there. I'm going to go ahead and insert that 8mm socket really securely into the bolt. I'm then going to go ahead and grasp over the pedal or the arm itself, and I'm going to go ahead and loosen it. Stages has designed this pedal crank to have a self-extracting bolt, so as you begin to loosen it, you'll encounter it gets loose and then it gets tough for a few cranks, and you'll notice that the crank is actually coming out as you continue to loosen it. I'm actually putting force on the crank outward for it to come out, and there it is. It's off just like that. In this case, I built this bike, so I already put grease on the bottom bracket spindle. I'll just go ahead and apply just a little bit more. This will act as not only an inhibitor for oxidation and corrosion, but it'll also allow the crank arm to seat properly on the spindle when I reattach it. Okay, the logic in putting the crank arm back on is that the crank arms are at opposing angles. So in this case, if in fact the right side was at 6 o'clock, the left side would be at 12 o'clock. So here, remember, I had taken it off at about 10:30. If you look on, well, actually on the other side of this bike, it would be on that opposite side. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to find where that is. It's notched, that's where it goes. I'm then going to go ahead, again, grab the pedal like so, insert your 8mm socket, and slowly thread that carefully back into the spindle. Here you'll just crank the bolt. In this case, you can actually crank the bolt or provide a really good amount of torque on this arm. There you go. Simple as that. Please comment, leave questions or comments. Have a great day.